Hey guys, so I'm gonna make a game right before your eyes. Now, obviously, it has to be a first person because I just love that. And I'm actually going to make it a penguin type game. So I'm just gonna type in penguin and I'm sorry if you hear a bunch of noise in the background. 1 second. Anyway, you might not hear anymore. You probably will though. Oh yeah, so I'm just gonna name it penguin. Now I already. Oops. Okay. Anyway, um, Unreal Engine is extremely fast in making projects. Unity is like a bad game engine, but it takes so long to make a new project. But Unreal Engine is way better, and it takes like 2/3 of the time. Okay, now I have the first person template, and as soon as I click play, you can see I can already do this. But yeah, I'm actually just going to make a new level, just a basic, and I'm going to delete this and create a landscape. And I'm also going to go into the first person and create a new one called game. Oops. Oops. Wow. Okay. Called game and then storage. There we go. Game storage. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create one called mats or materials. And I actually already have a material for the thing. So I can just go open images, and if I go back into Unreal Engine, open that up, and I already have a snow PNG right here. So I can just import that. Import this ice.png. And I think that's probably all I need for this. So I can just create. Okay, I was gonna say, why does it look so laggy? So I can just create a material for this, and then that is going to be my snow material. And perfect. Although, one thing that I'm realizing is this is way. You can see like it's literally a grid. Oh yeah, that's way better. So if I click play, you see immediately. There we go. That's way nicer. And what I'm also realizing is it's pretty shiny, so I'm just gonna turn that down a little bit. But actually, I do want it to be a little bit shiny, so I'm gonna do 5 and then 5. That'll make it really shiny, like metallic-y. Oh yeah, that's way better. Okay, and now I also need to make it so the player is taller, because the player is very short. So what I'm first going to do is, bring this up here. First I'm going to take the arms off, and then I'm going to bring this thing higher. And I think that should be high enough. There we go. So now, what I can do is I'm going to add a camera bob. So I'm going to come in here, and then I'm also going to create a blueprint class, and then get a camera shake. Well, legacy camera shake. Because the legacy camera shake is easier to use than the old one, or than the new one. So I can just call this walk, because we just need the walk. So I'm going to use 0.25, and I'm just going to set all these. Okay, so after a little bit of stuff that I did off camera, I now have a little first-person controller, so I can sprint and stuff. I can walk, I can jump, and I even have a little bit of camera shake, as you can see. That. But now the next thing is to actually make the environment. So I'm just going to go into landscape mode and just start, sculpting random stuff. So I'm just going to turn this up a little bit so it's higher. Make this bigger. And now I can just, do this. And actually, to make it less smooth, I'm actually going to use this brush. So now it looks like glaciers. Oh, that looks cool. That actually looks really crispy. I kind of want to eat that. That looks really cool. Okay, I didn't know something that I make could look so cool and crispy. Okay, but yeah, I'm just gonna bring these glaciers up. That looks so cool. I want that in real life. I want to climb on that like that. That looks so cool. But anyway, I'm gonna stop yapping about the ice. And now if I press play. Oh yeah, that's cool. What I'm also going to do, which I think will add to the environment really, really well, is I'm going to make little ponds around the area. And what I mean by a pond, is So I'm just going to go like this and add little holes in this place. Random little holes. But then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add another landscape. Oops, landscape. I'm going to make another landscape. Bring this down a little bit so it'll fill up all the holes. And then I'm going to use the water material that's already in here. Now if I click create, I have some water. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this landscape, and I'm actually just going to rename it to water. That way it's easier to understand so I can see it. And then I'm also going to rename this to ice. So now if I just go down to the water, I can look for the collisions and block all. I'm going to have no collision. So now I can click play, and now I have a bunch of these really cool looking ponds. And if I... okay, so I can still collide with them. I guess that's a problem for later. I don't really care about it right now. But actually what I realized is you can easily get stuck in there. So I'm actually just going to move this down a little bit to make it so you can't get stuck in there as easy. So now if I step in, I can easily step out. Okay. Now this place is already looking really, really cool. And what I also think I can do is I'm going to make another landscape. Yeah, another one. And I'm going to use the snow texture that I... oops. Wrong one. I'm going to use the snow texture that I have. I'm going to put that in there. So now if I just create it, it's obviously way too low. So I'm going to have to bring it up, and if I can find it. I'm just going to call this snow. Very creative. I'm actually going to have it lower than everything else. That way, when I sculpt it, I can bring it higher than everything else. So now if I just like start sculpting right here, you can see I can make little mountains. And I'm actually just going to turn the brush size higher, but also bring it down more. And now I'm just going to flatten like this. I'm going to flatten, and then I'm also going to smooth out. That way it's just like a little hill. And yeah, there we go. But as you can see again, it's like a little grid. So I'm literally just going to open this, take all this stuff, and open this, and plop it in there. Now I'm going to delete this, and bring this up here. And actually, I just realized, is that the same thing? These are the exact same textures. Okay, I can use the same texture, just this one is not going... okay, yeah, it already looks better. This one's just not going to be as shiny. And I also need a penguin. So I'm just going to create a penguin. And I'm going to model one up in Blender. Now, I already have like a log cabin here. I don't know what that is. But I kind of like... I love Blender. So what I can do to make it is I can add a cube. And then he'll do the job. Now, I don't really like... I don't like sculpt... sorry, not sculpting. I really hate weight painting, and I'm not going to weight paint this guy. So I just figured, I'm just not going to give it any animations at all. So I'm just going to join this whole thing together and make it one single object. So now everything has its own, it all shares one texture, as you can see, this grid. So I'm just going to export this as a JLB, or GLB, and call this pen.glb. So now I can just bring this into Unreal Engine, finally. And as you can see, okay, well anyway, as you can see, there is a lot of other materials, and I just accidentally deleted that. It's not what I needed. Okay, let me redo this. Okay, I accidentally deleted the wrong thing. I want to delete these materials, not those textures. So I'm literally just going to delete all these and use one texture. I'm just going to create one material. So now if I go into the skeletal mesh, I can create, I'm going to make into okay, this thing looks very bad. I don't know what happened to him, but I'm going to make a static mesh. It's going to put it into content. So now, if I go into the contents, put it into first person, put it into game storage, penguin, up here. So now the static mesh is right there. So now I can just delete these. I don't really need these. Now if I open the static mesh, you can see it obviously looks really bad. I'm not really sure why. Okay, isolate. Okay, so I can bring in the texture that I have, the one texture, and I actually thought it was really cool that I can use one texture for the whole body. I'm not really sure why. I just thought it was cool. Okay, these are gonna be very fat penguins. But hey, I mean, it's okay. But now now I just got to create. Sorry guys, the last video took way too long, so I decided to break it up into 2 videos. And yeah, it's all gonna be in one video when you watch it. And also, you might hear some stuff in the background. That's because my dad and my brother are working out. So I'll try to turn it down in post. But yeah, so I decided to break it up into 2 parts. So I created the penguin here, and what I also need to do is make a nav mesh. So, because I'm gonna give this guy an AI, so he'll be able to walk around and stuff and do stuff, you know. So yeah, I'm going to just completely mask this whole area, and like that, and there we go. So now he should be able to just walk around, you know. So I'm gonna create the behavior tree, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I now have the little behavior tree here. As you can see, pretty simple. But I also need an AI controller, so I'm just going to do an AI controller right there. So now I'm just going to call this AI underscore P. So AI underscore penguin. And then begin play. I'm going to run behavior tree. Behavior trees, sorry, that was my dad. Behavior trees are awesome. So anyway, if I go into penguin, I can go into the self and then AI, and then I should be able to find the AI controller. It calls AI underscore P. So now I think if I do this, oh yeah, the penguin will go to a random spot, but he will also turn around every time he does it. So there we go. He'll go to a random spot. But I need to, I'm going to, after this, I'm going to wait. Oops. Okay. Okay, I didn't mean that. I'm going to add a decorator. And I usually just add a blackboard. It is kind of generic, but I mean, it gets the job done, and it's really simple. But yeah, that's going to be the whole game for today right now. So see you later.